Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine. I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment in court.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
The government, states, they start putting these RICO acts on Diddy, all of these guys, and try to put it on these ongoing criminal organizations. I ain't never seen the government put a RICO act on the KKK.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You gotta acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened. We down.
If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
Of course, and more specifically Israeli made, IDF made. And if you're okay with starving children and you're still defending it, you're a bit of a monster, or maybe a lot of a monster.
And there's a freedom flotilla that's trying to break the siege. What do you think?
I think the world's nations should all be doing freedom flotillas. And let's call out not just America, not just Europe, but almost all the countries. So you're not trying to get food to starving Palestinians because you worship Israel? Why? Why would you give any respect to a disgusting terrorist government? It's like saying, oh, no, I wouldn't want to help people that are being killed by ISIS because I respect ISIS too much. What a weird, terrible, disgusting thing to say. So at this point, Israel's obviously a terrorist state. So, I mean, there's no point in defending. If you're still defending Israel, there's something morally wrong with you.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Kamal.
I'm Enzo.
Heaven, you're muted.
Yeah, you muted.
I'm Heaven.
We have a special guest tonight, Heaven. She's our newest member of the Man Cave. So we're so excited to have her tonight. So yeah, shout out to Heaven. Let's send some cheers for Heaven. But tonight, guys, we got a very jam-packed night for you. We are going to be talking about Gaza at the end. But before we kick it off about Gaza, There was an unfortunate incident that happened yesterday in New York City. There was there was a shooting, and it's definitely unfortunate that it happened. We're going to give details because there was a lot of misinformation that came out yesterday. But this is some clips for it.
Side of that building. That's, I don't know. That's 345 Park Avenue, live shooting.
So what we do know is that this occurred yesterday at 345 Park Avenue. It is the headquarters for Blackstone and for the NFL. But yesterday, the media was saying a lot of misinformation. The first thing that they said was it was a suspected white man. Gray, what's your thoughts on the shooting yesterday and all the misinformation that was coming out?
I heard people saying something about a CNN clip about them saying it was a white man. I mean, that could have been an honest mistake. He kind of light skinned, so I don't think that was like necessarily nefarious. But I think people like want to get the story out so quickly they'll say anything. So I mean, like there is a lot of misinformation, and what we live in now is where you get news instantly, rather than like actual reporter have to go talk to an editor and then somebody else looks at it before it get pushes out.
Yeah, the other misinformation is that he was a police officer. Enzo, you said you heard that he was, but come to find out, he drove cross country from Las Vegas. He was not a law enforcement officer, to be clear. He was a security officer for a hotel. Enzo, what are your thoughts? He was also a registered gun owner as well. So to be clear, he didn't illegally obtain a gun. He legally owned the gun. Enzo, as somebody that lives in the tri-state area, what do you think about what happened yesterday?
So I think it's absolutely terrible for the people that unfortunately lost their lives in the situation. Like I said, I thought it was a police officer because I saw some badge thing with his face on it that said Las Vegas Police Department. However true that was, obviously that was misleading in any capacity. Um, the legality of owning a weapon and everything like that. I'm waiting to hear now. We need to ban assault rifles. We need to ban AR-15s and everything like that, and not address the real issue of what I've learned why he committed this crime. Either he suffered from CTE or something to that effect. Maybe that's not why he went and did it. He probably had issues and what led him to it. But that's the real issue when it comes down to mass shootings and everything like that I look at is the mental health of these people who do these crimes, not the weapon who does it. I say this all the time. It's cheaper for everyone to say, let's just ban these weapons, not actually fix the issue of what's going on with these people. So,
yeah, fair enough. And I'm going to play another clip and then I'll let Kamal and Heaven comment. This is actually what the dude looked like. He did not look anything like a white man or Kamal. Let's play the clip.
Running back Shane Tamira from the Granada Hills football team. Big 35-31 victory against Kennedy tonight. The battle for Granada Hills. Shane, just talk about you guys getting that win tonight. How'd you guys come through?
We definitely had to stay disciplined. We were down 10-0. We definitely had to stay disciplined. Our coach kept saying, don't hold your heads down, don't hold your heads down. We just had to stay disciplined and come together as a team.
Shane, a couple of touchdowns for you, including a huge one late in the game there in the fourth quarter with under 4 minutes to go. That put you guys up 35-24, sort of sealed the game there for you guys, gave you guys a nice cushion. Take us through that play right there, jailbreak screen right there. Then you broke free about the 50-yard line and then took it to the house.
Well, our coach basically asked me, he was like, Shane, is the T-screen open? Is the T-screen open? I was like, yeah, it's definitely open.
So why I played that clip is the reason why they're saying he went there is because he had a CTE, a head injury from playing football. He was an NFL hopeful at one point, and the NFL is housed there. And in his, I guess, his manifesto or his note, he mentioned the CTE, saying that it caused him mental illness, it caused him issues. Heaven, what's your thoughts on that clip and the mental illness capacity attached to this?
I've had multiple traumatic brain injuries actually from my military service. I own weapons. I'm not going and shooting anyone up. Do I have reason to? Maybe. But I'm not doing it yet. So I mean, they can say whatever they want to. Anytime there's a note or a manifesto or something, it kind of gives me the ick on the whole story. It's always a manifesto. Does everybody write a manifesto or a note? And from my understanding, I don't think the NFL was on that floor that he went to.
Well, he did shoot an NFL employee.
See, there goes the misinformation all around. So I don't know how many people got shot because, misinformation. But
4, 5.
I don't think
4 was
I don't
killed,
think
1 was hurt.
I don't think it's an excuse at all.
Well, come on. They said it was a white man. Turned out it was him. They also try to say that this had connections to some unrelated Palestinian protesters. What do you think about the media always twisting things and getting things wrong? Big things like that.
Well, shit, the shoe on the other foot this time, ain't it? God damn, it's like a knee slapper. Mistaken identity, huh? Shit. We us black men, we used to that shit, ain't we? God damn. Now it's the other way around. Jesus Christ. But I will say this though, at least he didn't say he hate niggas in the manifesto, because some, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, like I know bro is black and all, but when I hear manifesto, all I hear is I hate niggas, so I'm about to kill some niggas. Every manifesto, except for he probably the first manifesto where I didn't hear that line. Every other manifesto deals with that shit. You know what I mean? And then
What about a Unabomber?
Did you read the fine print? I think the fine print said, I hate niggas. I'm pretty sure. It's on somewhere in that manifesto. I'm just saying they shooting at a high percentage when it comes to manifestos and them saying they hate black people. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the CTE thing needs to be taken more serious.
True.
Yep.
Like that needs to be taken more serious. I think they need to start doing that shit because they having these kids play fucking Pop Warner football. That's where they develop the CTE at. You know what I'm saying? It's right in that Pop Warner. That's middle school, y'all. You think they ain't creating brain damage, smacking each other at full force?
100%.
He said it was from high school in his manifesto. He believes that the NFL covers these brain injuries and it needs to be exposed. We're actually going to talk about that tomorrow night on the Man Cave. Gray's going to have clips that explain it because it is something that needs to be talked about. Football season is right around the corner. And listen, hot take, I do believe that the NFL it's modern day slavery. That's all I'm going to say. The way they treat these players after they're done playing, they treat them like ish. They treat them bad. They have no pension. They don't have anything. Come on, what's your thoughts on the NFL and the way they treat the players? Majority black players at that.
Nora, I thought we wasn't talking about conspiracies.
That's not a conspiracy. I have people that I know personally that have multiple Super Bowl rings, and no, they don't get treated great afterwards. No, and they still have to do these little like random things to make money, just to continue to be able to live the lifestyle that the NFL provided for them, and it is modern day slavery.
Well, one of our cast members' nephew is in the NFL. He plays for the Steelers, Slim. So
nice.
Yeah.
We're still waiting on the interview. Slim, if you're watching, make it happen before the season starts, please. Just kidding. No pressure. All right, guys, we're going to switch gears here. We're going to talk about Obama, where we're at with the investigation and what can be done. If you guys are watching, please hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get the likes up, and here we go.
but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016. We must, absolutely must, hold every one of these criminals accountable for the crimes that they committed. They are the most heinous crimes committed in American history. James Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Biden was in the meeting in July 28th in the Oval Office. They briefed Barack Obama on Hillary Clinton's plan to, quote, tie Trump to Russia collusion lies. It consumed our national discourse for 5 years. It undermined a sitting duly elected president. It sabotaged administration. It framed a three-star general. It destroyed and ripped this country apart. We had a constitutional crisis, the likes of which I don't think any American can fully comprehend. It is atrocious, and every single one of them must be held accountable.
Yeah, and of course. Okay, guys. So I want to remind everyone about some things about Obama. We're going to touch on it tonight. Obama has not been a stranger to investigations. Fast and Furious gun walking operation led to congressional inquiries and contempt citation for Attorney General Eric Holder over withheld documents. The embassy attacks in Benghazi, which you know Hillary Clinton was attached. The IRS targeting controversy. Scrutiny of political groups applying for tax-exempt status. Ultimately, no criminal charges were filed. The NSA surveillance abuses, including mass collection, Section 702 violations, and journalists unmasking prompted lawsuits like Clayton versus Obama. Most resulted in civil rulings rather than prosecution. So to be fair, this is not the first time Obama's been under hot water. However, Supreme Court rulings recently have him protected from immunity. Enzo, what's your thoughts?
So, my whole thing on this situation is he should be held accountable. With the whole immunity thing, you're immune under official acts of the presidency. I know Trump came out the other day and said, well, Obama's fine. He can't really be charged. I don't think that's really going to hold up. I'm not taking fucking Trump's word for that whatsoever. I want to know how undermining the will of the American people and subverting conspiracy against the election is an official duty of the president of the United States. Because if we don't remember, there was already a case against Donald Trump that they tried to put against him. And that wasn't ruled on in that case. What they ruled on in that case was the immunity for the classified documents. So, I mean, what is really going on here? And if that's the case, if he has immunity, then what can a president really get away with? Like, can he just go do anything? If that's the case, then a president should never be impeached because that's an official action under the acts of the presidency at the end of the day. So I don't agree with whatsoever if he could be not tried for this whatsoever. He should be, and everyone around him should be.
You just said a lot. I'm going to have our resident Democrat respond. Gray, are we going to see an impeached Obama? Is it going to happen?
How will he be impeached? He's not president.
Well, that's the other thing that they're saying, that they want to impeach him. I'm not making that up. I read that in an article that they're going to try to go back. So basically, they're going to try to null and void his presidency. And that's most likely what they're going to try to do, supposedly, because they're not going to be able to arrest him for official acts because he was the president at the time. I'm not making this up. That's what I read, that they're going to try to get his presidency null and void. Is it possible? I mean, what do you think?
If we go back and look at presidencies, if we look at Ronald Reagan, the Iran-Contra thing, literally selling drugs for the government when he wasn't supposed to do anything with Iran. Richard Nixon continuing the Vietnam War when he was running for presidency. But all these presidents do stuff, and we're never going to really see them get convicted, none of them, because think about it. If they actually went to prison, like, what, a Secret Service going to live there? Are they going to put them in a castle? Like, what consequences are they really going to suffer? So I just feel like probably a lot of presidents have broke the law, have done things that they weren't supposed to do. But I feel like the people feel like they don't want such a blemish on American history that they put a president in any type of prison or any type of breaking the law and them suffering any type of consequences.
Oh man. Kamal, Mr. Apolitical, what's your thoughts? Is this a big nothing burger, or will we see something from this? And will you be sad if Obama gets convicted?
Hell no, I wouldn't be sad if Obama got convicted. The fuck? That motherfucker didn't give a fuck about our lineage. F that guy. But to be real, he ain't gonna go to jail. And why the fuck would he get impeached? Why y'all trying to Reggie Bush, bruh? Y'all trying to like, bro, like Heisman way. Like, what's going on? You feel me? Now we need to start questioning Obama why he's trying to push a certain agenda on kids. That's what I'm more worried about. Or let's the real investigation, bro. What happened to your pool boy, bro? How he just drowned mysteriously? Them is like
the chef. He's the chef.
Okay,
Yeah.
pool boy, chef, Boyardee, tomato. You know exactly.
Was it true that he was on the premises too? I heard that he was there when it happened.
Oh, the Obamas were both there.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They
I didn't know if it was
called.
true or not.
Didn't they make the call?
I don't know.
I think so, or their Secret Service did, because he has Secret Service for life.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so impeachment. I was literally about to look up what president has been impeached. I think it's only been one president that's been.
I think it was Clinton.
It was Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Well, let me look it up.
Trump was technically impeached once.
Technically.
Impeached.
Yes, Bill Clinton was impeached. He was impeached, but he was not removed.
He got
because he stepped down, right?
Yeah. Well, no, they let him. I don't think it passed. It didn't pass it didn't pass
the Senate.
Not Congress, the Senate. It passed the Congress though.
It's the same thing with Trump then. It's a House impeachment, but the Senate didn't convict.
Yeah, it says it right here. So it don't fucking matter. Like, if the Senate didn't approve it, it's kind of like, do this violation. Yeah, so it's only been Andrew Johnson, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump. Man, this impeachment shit don't mean nothing.
How many of them are on the Epstein list? That's what I want to know still.
Heaven, what's your thoughts on all of this?
I'll show you.
Get them all out. All of them. Every single one of them.
Start with Bill.
One. I don't care. I don't. All of them. Top to bottom. Because it's all rotten. And start fresh. Fresh faces. Fresh people. Fresh ideas. Because we're turning back the clock, and I don't know how I feel about that. I do. I have lots of feelings about that, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I mean,
I do.
It's a lot to be said about these presidents. And guys, shout out to Heaven and Gray. They served in the military. Heaven, how long were you in for?
15.
Whew.
15.
I almost got my baby daddy beat. He did 23. That's a long time.
Heaven probably doesn't remember this, but Heaven, you're one of the first people I met at Fort Drum.
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah. It happens. Was I HR at that point?
No, we were in the same unit.
I was still a cook.
I don't remember.
TBI.
Heaven, was Gray a good soldier?
I don't remember.
Where's Doc at? We need the stories, Doc.
But I also, to be fair, I was in an infantry unit, and I was a complete jerk because I had to be. I was around
to survive as a
infantrymen
woman.
all day. Over 500 men around, only 6 females. And to be honest, the military, I mean, the Army doesn't have the best looking females, but I mean,
you're pretty, Heaven.
Thank you. I also don't. I mean, I hear that and I appreciate it. I don't feel it, so it's different. I don't know.
All right, guys, we're going to transition on. We're going to talk about the topic of the night. Let me start by saying, anybody watching, these are some strong images to see. I would suggest having children leave the room. The views of Nora Christine are not the views of Gray Mars or the New Party. Let me start by saying that. But I'm going to need the Zionists to come to the front of the congregation tonight. We're going to have a come to Jesus meeting tonight, because it comes a point where you can justify certain things. But now, level 5 starvation has hit Gaza. Level 5. I didn't make this up. This is from World Health Organizations. This is from reputable news sources. However, we're being told, don't look over there. It's all lies. I have clips of the IDF not allowing journalists to film outside of camps. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Haven't you raised your hand? What do you want to say?
I just wanted to note that on June 26th of this year, Haaretz, which is an Israeli newspaper, noted that there are over 100,000 deaths. We're still being told numbers that are not even comparable to what's actually happening on the ground.
I mean, the
that was
numbers I'm
because of the
hearing is
bill.
450,000 possibly. I mean, the official numbers that the Palestinian Register are saying is 60,000. And the reason why the numbers keep changing, guys, this is something everyone needs to understand, is there are people trapped under the rubble of the buildings. They have not found their bodies. There's only been 60,000 found bodies. However, there are hundreds of thousands of people missing, children in particular, missing children. So
Registry's gone. There's no way to
yes.
track the people that are missing either, because when an entire family gets displaced or wiped out, who is there to speak to who is missing? Especially when all of the historical documents and civil registries have been destroyed.
So no, it's okay. No, Heaven, you gotta speak on it, because
we were, I don't it skipped past a lot of us, I'm sure, but back in 2024, our Congress voted to not cite any numbers, the death toll statistics from Gaza. That was in the amended appropriations bill. So that was kept from Americans, so that we specifically don't know the numbers of the dead.
Right. Go ahead.
But today, the UK, they announced that if there's not a deal made by September, they are going to recognize Palestine. Let me play this clip from their prime minister.
Humanitarian crisis to an end is through a long-term settlement. So we are supporting the US, Egyptian and Qatari efforts to secure a vital ceasefire. That ceasefire must be sustainable, and it must lead to a wider peace plan, which we're developing with our international partners. I've always said that we will recognise a Palestinian state as a contribution to a proper peace process at the moment of maximum impact for the two-state solution. With that solution now under threat, this is the moment to act. So today, as part of this process towards peace, I can confirm the UK will recognise the State of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September, unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza, agree to a ceasefire, and commit to a long-term sustainable peace, reviving the prospect of a two-state solution.
Yeah, guys. So this is big that he said that. He's saying that they need to agree to ceasefire. They need to permit free humanitarian aid. They need to halt any West Bank annexation. They are recommending a two-state solution. This is symbolic. Gray, what's your thoughts on his comments today?
I understand that he's trying to threaten them, and he's using that because that has a lot of religious sentiment to it, because basically the reason Jews feel like they're entitled to that land is because of the Bible, because of the Torah and what it says, that they were there Then when Jesus was resurrected, they were forced from the land, and then now they've come back. So for them, the name Palestine, Israel feels like Palestine doesn't exist. So by them saying that Palestine exists, symbolically they're attacking their right to the land. So I understand what they're using as a threatening measure to get negotiations.
Enzo, you study a lot of military things. Somebody has a question in the chat. I want you to answer the question. If you don't know, it's okay. I'll pass it along to someone else, but I know you study this stuff. So if every time Israel agrees to a ceasefire or offers land, Hamas attacks Israel in the most brutal way, then what is Israel to do? Yet they give warnings to civilians which is very rare in war, and they provide aid to the civilians of their opponents, also rare in war.
So what is Israel to do? I'm kind of biased on this side because I don't agree with what Israel's doing whatsoever. Even if they're giving warnings or not, Israel's not abiding by that. We saw how surgical Israel could be, ironically, with Iran and what they were doing. They showed how surgical they could be. At the beginning of this war, when I was looking into it, I thought, like, listen, these are casualties of war at the end of the day. Civilians are gonna unalive. The people that are in Gaza are sympathizers to Hamas and everything like that. And then Nora, thankfully, is one who really opened my eyes to everything. I was never for Israel whatsoever. I'm going to preface that. I just didn't care. I really didn't care. I thought it was just a military operation, two conflicts fighting it out. And whoever's on their side is just sympathizers at the end of the day. Nora opened my eyes, showed me everything that I need to know about this. Israel, we know what they can do. They have our technology. They can be surgical about this to take out Hamas. They're not at the end of the day. What is going on over there? And this is the views of mine, not everybody on the panel, guys. Is absolutely terrible. They need to be sanctioned. The world needs to come together to stop this. Not just the United States, not just Britain, not just Egypt, Jordan, all the surrounding countries in the Middle East, in Africa, Europe, everywhere. Everybody needs to come in and condemn this at the end of the day, because this is terrible. I'm not okay with America being complicit and giving them the weaponry to do this. That's really all I gotta say right now.
I understand it's hard to talk about. Kamal, Israel said this is a reward for Hamas. Do you think this would be a reward for them if in September they acknowledge them as owning the land and get the two-state solution?
Man, I'm gonna be a thou out with y'all. I ain't an expert when it comes to this subject matter, but I know them motherfuckers been fighting for centuries. Sometimes you just gotta, if you don't know what you talk about, you shouldn't say shit at all. And this is one of the moments.
I understand.
You feel me? I ain't gonna say something and I don't know much about it. I just know they've been fighting for a very, very long time. And when it comes to anything with kids, it's fucked up. That's all I gotta say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, Kamal, we're going to let you learn tonight and be an observer, and we appreciate that. So thank you, Kamal, for being open to learn. Roses and Lily said, Heaven, I'm going to let you respond. Well, the Iranians weren't hiding their nuclear weapons in schools and hospitals, so they were able to be surgical. As a former member of the armed service, thank you for your service. What's your thoughts on that?
There were no tunnels under the schools and in the hospitals. There was no actual evidence of tunnels or military operations in or around schools. And there hasn't been. The fact of the entire thing, regardless of how many years, generations, and what's gone on in the past 76 years, because that's how long it's been. International law, humanitarian law, we have laws of war that are meant to be followed. And those were broken in 2023 and have continuously been. And us as Americans are complicit and culpable in this because we have been supplying them with the bombs that they have been dropping. This has globally been recognized as a genocide. It is by definition a Holocaust, because I personally have seen many, many videos of people being burned alive. And that's what by definition a Holocaust is. We need to use proper language, and everyone needs to understand what the actual definitions of the words that they're using are. Because this is a genocide, this is a Holocaust, and this is a forced starvation and ethnic cleansing of an area, regardless of whatever the history is. What it is right now is what it is, and we said never again. And we are watching it happen before our eyes.
Heaven, don't get into it now, but Shelley said, I can't listen to Yanks talking bollocks. Us Irish, no, Ireland has always stood with Palestine. Guys, before in the pre-show, we were all talking. Heaven is actually of Irish descent. I'm going to have Heaven get into it in the next clips as we talk about the famine, what's going on, because she said she agrees. So let's be mindful, chat. You don't know who you're talking to, but thank you, Shelley, for your thoughts. Also, guys, there was a comment that said something. Rose and Lily says, I think it's beautiful when people come together because they care for other people. I applaud you guys, but just consider the other side as well, because Israel is also a victim. Let me start by saying we at the New Party have been considerate of Israel. In fact, I was very pro-Israel. Ray can tell you, for months. For months, I was pro-Israel. As a Christian, we are taught these are the chosen people, and I'm not going to debate that tonight, to be clear. But that's what I was taught as a Christian. Also, I am of half North African descent. I am a descendant of Muhammad. Even despite that, my family denounces what has been done to Israel. My family is friends with people in the Israeli government. Moroccans have been a friend to Israel for decades. So let me be clear when I say I am unbiased in that regard. I don't believe in the conspiracies, and we're going to get to that later tonight. I don't support anti-Semitism in any way, shape, or form. Some of my closest friends are Jewish people, but I condemn what the IDF is doing. Simple, point blank. Kids is where I drew the line. Once I realized how many kids and this affected, that's where I said, I can no longer support this. This is where I draw the line. So to be clear, I am not anti-Semite. I don't condone that. And we're going to get to that as well. But the next clip we're going to play is we're going to shift gears, and I'm going to show both sides. I'm going to show a clip from Charlie Kirk. He is one, I think, the biggest, what do you call it, Zionist. Me and Gray went to his event. He's a very pro-Zionist person, very pro-Israel person. And we're going to have both sides tonight. Here's a clip for Charlie Kirk with the rabbi saying that there's no starvation. Our lying eyes are lying to us.
To make it seem as if Israel is intentionally starving the people of Gaza. I hate being lied to, especially by the media networks. They lied to us about COVID. They lied to us about the vaccines. They lied to us about open borders. They lied to us Hunter Biden laptop. Joining us now is Rabbi Walicki, a great friend, and thank you so much for defending me the other day. Rabbi Walicki, you're also the YouTube, people can find you on YouTube, Israel 365. Rabbi, let's just go through the facts here, and then let's get into the lies. What is the situation in Gaza as the truth would bear it out, not the New York Times propagandist network?
Well, if we're talking about the starvation lie, and thank you, Charlie, thank you for having me on to talk about this. It's so important because this is really pure propaganda, as you say. So since the beginning of the war, since October 7th, the whole issue of the food getting into Gaza and how much food is getting in has been weaponized by Hamas and by the whole pro-Hamas crowd. And what they're doing most recently is claiming that there's a starvation crisis. The quantities of food, I'm not going to get into the weeds of the numbers, but the quantities of food that have been brought into the Gaza Strip since the beginning of the war and month over month is enough to feed the Gaza Strip, according to the World Food Program's numbers for what it takes to feed people, for longer than this war has gone on, for about 27 months worth of food. And there's plenty of food getting into the Gaza Strip. But what's happening is that Hamas is trying to perpetuate this this narrative that Gazans are starving because starting about 2 months ago, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which is run by Americans and is in cooperation with the Israelis, has started distributing food, started distributing humanitarian aid directly to the people of Gaza. And why is that important? Because until they started doing that, the only way for Gazans to get food was to get it from Hamas. All of the tons and tons of food, all the truckloads of food that have been coming into the Gaza Strip as humanitarian aid since the beginning of the war until 2 months ago, were brought in by United Nations organizations that were working hand in glove with Hamas. It was going directly to Hamas, and then Hamas would sell it at exorbitant prices to the people, hoard it for themselves, take all the fuel to fuel their war machine, use it to recruit new recruits into Hamas, and it was basically Hamas's oxygen. And the estimates now by the United States, by the State Department, is that Hamas has made approximately $500 million just from selling aid to the people of the Gaza Strip since the war has began. So Israel has realized for a long time that this is a problem because while the aid has to get to people, the aid is also fueling Hamas. So 2 months ago, they started this new program where in areas that are under Israeli security control on the Gaza Strip, they distribute the food directly to the Gazan citizens. All the aid is supposed to be free. In fact, there are videos and pictures online of packages marked not for sale being sold by Hamas vendors to the people of the Gaza Strip. So what's happening now is because food is being distributed directly to the Gazan citizens at these distribution centers, that's cutting off Hamas's oxygen because the people can get food directly from the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. They don't have to pay exorbitant prices to Hamas, and Hamas is both losing control of the population and also losing their cash flow. So they started perpetuating this starvation narrative really just over the course of the last couple of weeks. It has no basis in fact. We see this even from the Gaza Health Ministry, which is Hamas's own numbers for casualties for deaths throughout this war. There's nobody dying of starvation in the Gaza Strip. But you could also see it looking at the pictures on your screen right now. We know what starving people look like. These are Gazans. They're not emaciated. They're not starving. The people of Gaza are not starving. But Hamas needs to
I can't take it anymore. I fucking can't take it. That is the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard. Tons of news organizations have come out and said over 50 people have died this week alone from starvation. Children dying. Are lying eyes lying to us? Also, people are going to these food places. I want to put this out there, and they're getting shot by the IDF. I don't know what the media is telling you guys, but that is fact. Mia, thank you for joining us. What's your thoughts on what you just heard?
I think, Gazan people that lived in the Gaza Strip were starving before this war. So all of a sudden now that there's all of this food, I mean, I don't understand why these people think that none of us have VPNs, that we can't get this information on our own. Like we can't see the pictures, we can't see the videos, like we can't interact or we don't interact with Palestinians that are there. Like we don't know, like some of us don't have international VPNs. Mm-hmm. We can circumvent the firewalls of the United States and actually see this stuff on our own. I think it's wild to me. Like these people were in rough shape and starving before the war. I can almost guarantee you it's 1,000 times worse now. I mean, this is ridiculous. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to allow a Jewish person who has everything to gain from winning this so-called war tell me everything's fine. Okay, I'm sure that's what Hitler was telling the German people. Everything's fine. Don't look at the camps, guys. Everything's fine. It's great over here. They're fine. We're feeding them fish and shit. Come on, dude. That's retarded. That
sounds like America right now, actually.
I mean, that's so ignorant. I mean, it's crazy. You're going to sit there and you're going to put a rabbi, and he's probably a nice guy. I don't know him personally, but he could be a nice dude. We're going to put a rabbi in front of me who has everything to gain from pushing this narrative that these people are fine to sit there and give us some disinformation. Like, okay, whatever, dude. Whatever. If people want to live with their head in the sand.
I'm also an ordained minister, also.
Oh yeah, you did. I did see that happen.
Yes, yes. I got ordained right after I got out of the military. So there's that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you answer next, and then we'll let the guys get in here. Roses is asking, what's the solution? Because every time Israel and Hamas agree to a ceasefire, Hamas breaks it and attacks. And when Israel offers land, Hamas, I guess she said that they denies it.
So if somebody comes into your house, you let them come. You're like, hey, come on, come stay for a little while. You need a place to stay. It's cool. And then all of a sudden one day they're like, nah, you get your bedroom. I got the rest. Fight me for it. But they have all the weapons, every knife, every gun, everything, and you're just stuck in your bedroom. They say what goes in and goes out of your bedroom. They lock you in your bedroom. And then they offer you the closet too. I know, fuck you. And no, I don't want the closet. No, get out of my house. Get out of my house. Would that not, is that not a similar scenario?
I mean, Hamas
After
isn't
the Holocaust, Jews were invited to Palestine by the Arabs to say, hey, no one else, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why we had our immigration laws how we had them, because we turned away a ship of Jewish immigrants that were trying to escape the Holocaust. And we said, never again will we turn away an immigrant. And now that's another story for another day. But
Enzo, I'm gonna come to you next. Gaza is coastal, right? Is Israel blocking all ships? Yeah, they're blocking the what do they call them? The flotillas. Do you know anything about that, Enzo?
they still have Chris Smalls. Christian Smalls is a U.S. Activist. He is still in Israeli custody. He has been detained by the IDF, and he has been physically assaulted by the IDF. He was the only black person on the flotilla, and he is the only person that has not been released, and he was the only person that has been assaulted, and he is an American citizen, and we are doing nothing about that as our government.
So to answer King's question, they are blocking. They are not allowing ships to come in. There are freedom flotillas that have tried to come in. Greta Thunberg was on one of them. Enzo, what's your thoughts?
So the sad thing is, I like Charlie, I do. But when it comes down to this issue, him and the rabbi are the last two fucking people I want to hear say that nothing's going on. You're literally paid by AIPAC, bro. The rabbi, Hasidics, they get money from Israel. Of course you guys are going to say none of this is going on. Of course, because you guys are paid to say this stuff. Like, that's fine, get your money. But like, bro, like at the end of the day, like there's some legit shit going on. People are unaliving all day long because of what you guys are doing to them. I think it's ridiculous that Israel is the one who's protecting these UN convoys and everything coming in. I'm not falling into the bullshit and saying Hamas is taking everything and just selling it to the people. That's ridiculous. I've never heard in war, in a humanitarian crisis, where the country that is attacking or retaliating is the one who's protecting the food to give to the civilians on the other side. Why is we as the United States is giving them arms but not doing what we did in 92 in Somalia of protecting the food to give to the civilians? Why are we not doing that? Why is no country doing that? Why is it left to Israel when we know they're going to commit these atrocities? We've known these atrocities have been going on. Why is the world still complicit in letting this go on? We know why the United States is, but why is the world sitting by watching this, saying we're going to give them until the 10th of September? Why are we not stepping in now? This needs to be done now. Like, granted, if they get a deal done by the 10th or if nothing happens by the 10th, who knows what's going to be left in Gaza by the 10th when this is happening every day.
Well, they're starving them out. I'm going to play another clip and then I'll let Gray and Kamal respond first. Pretty much, Roses said the UN has 600 aid trucks they're not letting through. Why? And God shows and said, why are the Israeli activists going to the border and throwing away food? Guys, listen, I'm not going to say the UN is not allowing. I don't know that, but I have clips here that shows Israeli protesters blocking aid going back to June, and we're going to watch it now because I don't think the media knows it or showing you guys this, and you need to see this. This is going back to June, and I actually have one from just last week, but we'll play the June one first. Sorry, what I'm trying to show in this clip is that the famine has been going on since June, since May, and I'm going to play the one now with them blocking the trucks. Hold on. Here we go.
Israeli protesters have gathered near the border to block trucks carrying humanitarian aid into Gaza. Israel recently launched a new offensive against Hamas, but it also partially lifted its 11-week blockade on food supplies. Some trucks have been allowed into Gaza this week, but the UN says the military still hasn't given them permission to distribute the aid. Without it, international experts have warned of a potential famine. Anti-aid protesters were eventually removed by police from the roads to let the trucks through.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Roses, I could tell we gonna buck heads with you all night, girl. It's okay. You're gonna come to learn. Come to the front of the congregation. I know you're a Zionist. So are you saying it isn't enough for Israel to offer them land, but they should also give them Israel? Nobody is saying that. Anyways, nevertheless, Gray, what's your thoughts on the clips you saw?
The clips are terrible. No one should ever be starving in today's time. I think that what's going on is that they want Americans and the rest of the world to be desensitized. And I think that's what's going on because when you don't necessarily have contact with people on an everyday basis, it's kind of hard for you to show some empathy towards a certain group because it's happening overseas. So I feel like that Israel is trying to say that it's propaganda and that it's a lie. So getting this type of information out and showing these type of videos was good, so that we can talk about this and people know that what's really going on.
Yeah, and shout out to Kelly Corinne. She sent a $9.99 super chat. Salute to the entire panel for speaking out for kids. This shouldn't even be political. Yeah, this shouldn't be political. Shouldn't be a racial thing. Kamal, I know you say you're not an expert, but what do you think about the clip that you saw? You can just comment on that.
Yeah, like I always say, man, it's fucked up when kids got to go through certain shit because of what adults is doing. That's all I see right there. Kids going through shit because of what these adults is doing, and they can't fucking come together and talk peacefully and bring some peace and shit. You feel what I'm saying? But that's really what I got from it, though. It's like, I always think if anything involving kids and turmoil is always fucked up in my eyes. So.
Oh, Lord. All right. I'm going to